afternoon, Reverend Theros, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Institute of Professional Studies and Skill Development is a fully fledged, state recognized institute in Sri Lanka, founded to create a friendly environment for gaining knowledge, inculcate positive attitudes, and develop skills of students with high quality subject materials. The purpose of the IPSSD is to create national and international opportunities for education to the Sri Lankan students.
This is the largest and most progressive examination board in Sri Lanka, conducting record number of examinations in island-wide for all grades and including diploma examinations as well. The syllabuses in IPSSD have been completed by highly qualified and experienced examiners keeping with nationally and internationally accepted standards. All the courses offered by IPSSD are nationally and internationally recognized.
Also extremely affordable and enable students to be equipped with knowledge, positive attitudes and necessary skills to step up to the modern and global society. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start the Diploma Convocation 2021 and 2022 in the Institute of Professional Studies and Skill Development, Sri Lanka.
So, this afternoon is an event of great gathering and high point of academic calendar indeed, because today we recognize and reward the accomplishment and achievements of our dear students over the past year. To remark the initial starting of the ceremony with respect, it's time to invite the Honorable Chairman Deshabandhu Tisaranatunga, Professor Rangika Bandara, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya, Dr. Kamal Abewardana, the Executive Committee Member of United Nations Organization and the Department Head of the Science and Engineering IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Tilakwansha Chandratilaka, Senior Lecturer and the Director of the Center for Sustainability, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Dr. Madhavi Bandara, Senior Executive Director, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Madam Ranjani Jayakodi, Consultant Administrator of Agriculture, the member of Sabarakamuwa University Council, former Chief Secretary of Sabarakamuwa, Mr. Anura Disanayaka, CEO of IPSSD, Madam Deepa Badakoda, Director of Examination, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Mr. Sanjeeva Disanayaka, Consultant Social Media and Digital Marketing, Madam Ransi Vimalaratna, the Coordinator of Southern Province, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Mr. Shalinda Ratugama, Mr. A. Vitarana, Mr. Elivera, Registrar, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Achini Vijayaratna, one of our students, to light up the traditional oil lamp, and in the same time, I would like to invite all of you to stand up as a tribute. you so much.
Let us all rise for the national anthem. We pray for your blessings with all humanity. Give us the wisdom to make this country a better place, to evoke feelings of patriotism and remind you of the nation's glory and beauty. I request you all to stand up to respect to our national anthem.
Sri Lanka Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Siri Barini, Surandi Ati Sogamana Lanka, Ranya Dhanaya Nekamal Palaguru Piri Jaya Bhumiya Ranya, Apahata Sapa Siri Sata Sadhana, Jeevanaye Mata, Piliganu Mena Appa Bhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Obave Appa Vidya, Obamaya Appa Satya, Obave Appa Shanti, Appa Hada Tula Bhanti, Obba Appa Aloke, Appa Ge Anuprani, Obba Appa Jeevanave, Appa Muktiya Obave, Nava Jeevana Demine, Nitina Appa Kubudu Karan Mata, Jnana Veeda Vadava Minaragena Yanu Mena Jaya Mumikara, Ekamavatage Daru Kalabarina, Yamu Yamu Vinopama, Prema Vada Samadega Durala, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata.
Thank you very much.
Now, as we begin with our ceremony, we'd like to start off with the official declaration. For that, with respect, I would like to invite Professor Angika Bandara, Senior Lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya.
Good afternoon, all of you. I heartily welcome you all to the Diploma and Award Ceremony of IPSSD. It gives me immense pleasure to host this ceremony. I do declare open the Diploma Award Ceremony.
Thank you very much, madam.
Now we'd like to start off extending a warm welcome to each of you. For the honors of the official welcome, allow me to introduce and invite Mr. Anura Disanayaka, the CEO of IPSSD Sri Lanka, to welcome the gathering.
Ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon at the outset. Let me convey my thanks to the governance and the management of Institute of Professional Studies and Skill Development of Sri Lanka for giving me the privilege of delivering the welcome speech of the Diploma and Certificate Award Ceremony for the academic year 2001-2002 as the Chief CEO attached to the Institute. Firstly, it is my pleasure to welcome today's keynote speaker, Professor Radhika Bandara, a senior lecturer, Department of Sociology and Environmental Management of University of Kelaniya, who is always with us and guiding us for our success. And wish to extend a very warm welcome to our remarkable parents, guardians, and other dear students who have made an impact on the certificate and diploma holders who sit here today. And also welcome to our respected academic, member of governance and management staff of IPSSD who are here today. In addition, special recognition must go for our chief guest, Reverend Sir Professor Kongastanne Ananda Thera, former Chancellor, University of Runa, and the Honorable Chairman of IPSSD, Desabandhu Mr. Tissaranatunga, with our biggest gratitude for having very kindly accepting our invitation and sparing his valuable time to grace this occasion. And also extend a warm welcome to other invitees who are gathered here. Reverend Sir Vilda B.A. Sumanasiri Thera, Coordinator, Department of Languages, IPSSD Sri Lanka. Dr. Kamal Abeyewardena, the Executive Committee member of United Nations Organization and the Department Head of the Science and Engineering, IPSSD Sri Lanka. Dr. Tilakavansa Chanda Tilaka, Senior Lecturer and Director of Center for Sustainability, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Madam Rajini Jayakodi, Consultant, Ministry of Agriculture, the member of Sabaragamu University Council and former Chief Secretary of Sabaragamu Provincial Council. Mr. Prasanna D. Soisa, Legal Consultant, Senior Lawyer and Senior Lecturer. Madam Gayatri Lianage, Director of Finance of IPSSD Sri Lanka. Mr. Nalaka D. Silva, Senior Lecturer of IPSSD Sri Lanka. Dr. Madhavi Bandara, Senior Executive Director, IPSSD Sri Lanka. Madam Sandhya Gamage, the Principal of Convent of Child Jesus. Madam Ransi Vimalaratna, the Coordinator of Southern Province, IPSSD Sri Lanka. Mr. H.T. Kalubovila, Mr. A. Livera, Registrar, IPSSD Sri Lanka, and Mr. Sajeeva Randula, Consultant, Social Media and Digital Marketing. Again, finally, I thank all of you once again on behalf of our of the IPSD for your presence on our invitation. I invite. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, it's a precious time to see the power of strong gathering in professionals on a same stage. So it's time for our distinguished guests to arrive to the head table. We would like to invite the Honorable Chairman Deshabandhu Tissaranatunga, Professor Angika Bandara, Senior Lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya, Dr. Kamal Abeyewardena, the Executive Committee member of United Nations Organization and the Department Head of the Science and Engineering, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Tilakwansha Chandra Tilaka, Senior Lecturer and the Director of Center for Sustainability, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Dr. Madhavi Bandara, Senior Executive Director, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Madam Ranjani Jayakodi, Consultant Administrator of Agriculture, the member of Sabaragamu University Council, and the former Chief Secretary of Sabaragamu, Mr. Prasanna Soisa, Legal Consultant, Senior Lawyer and Senior Lecturer, Madam Ransi Vimalaratna, the Coordinator of Southern Province, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Mr. Anurudhi Sanayaka, CEO of IPSSD, Madam Gayatri Liyanage, Director of Finance, IPSSD Sri Lanka. Mrs. Deepa Batagoda, Director of Examination, IPSSD Sri Lanka.
So, with grace and proudness, it's time to move into the most awaiting moment, awarding diplomas. For that, we would like to invite Professor Vangika Bandara, Senior Lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya; Dr. Tilakwansha Chandra Tilaka, Senior Lecturer and Director of Center for Sustainability, University of Jayawardenepura; and Dr. Madhavi Bandara, the Executive Director of IPSSD Sri Lanka. And I would like to invite, joining into that with respect, Madam Ransi Vimalaratna, Coordinator, Southern Province, IPSSD Sri Lanka, to announce the names.
R.J. Manil. R.A.D.M. Rabukanarachi. I.P. Malala Gamage. S.A. Metmi Malshani. J.K. Tilanka. A.G. Neela Chitrangani. M.K.A. Damayanti. S.M.I. Lakmali Vimalaratna. W.A.N. Madhuanti Veerasinghe. A.L. Kotalawala. G.M.I. Kaushalya Jayaratna. T.K.I. Roshni. T.D. Mali Tilakaratna. K. Menu N. Rajakaruna. තුෂාරී වීරවන්නේ කේ.ඒ. දෙව්නි මෝවින්දී සී. සමන්ති සූරිය බණ්ඩාර චමිලා ගයානි සමරතුංග සී. CASELDM රණසිංහ WN නිරෝෂණී වෙදගේ JA රසිකා ප්‍රියානි ජයසිංහ SA ජයනි ශෙහාරා JP තරංගා දිල්රුක්ෂි BG ගංගා කුමාරී බෙල්ලංගම MNF අස්රා KW කල්යනි චතුරිකා වෙල්ලවල HD රීටා සුරංගි හෙට්ටිආරච්චි AWNC ජයතිලක TH දිලිනී සඳුනිකා MSRK සංජනී ෆර්නෑන්ඩෝ DUA වික්‍රමසිංහ GD ප්‍රමුදී රමෝද්‍යා PGC කෞශල්‍යා පද්මසිරි KML ප්‍රේමචන්ද්‍ර WG නෙත්මි ප්‍රමුදිනී GW නන්දනී ස්වර්ණලතා GKD කෝනාර නිලන්ති හෙට්ටිආරච්චි MND Manamperi. G. Chandrani Gunasinghe. M. Priyangani Samanlata Jayasri. Disney Bandara.
Thank you very much.
උපතේ සිටම ස්වභාව ධර්මය ස්වකීය ආත්මය කරගත් ඇය එවෘතීය ලෙස තෝරාගත්තේද ස්වභාව ධර්මයේ ගැලවුම්කාරියක් වශයෙන් කටයුතු කිරීමටමයි. සබාදහම් මාතාව රැකීම මිනිස් ජීවිතයේ පැවැත්ම තහවුරු කිරීම බව ඇගේ දැඩි විශ්වාසයයි. වෘතියෙන් අධ්‍යාපන ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ රචනක් වුවත් වෘතියට හායින් විශ්වයේ පැවැත්මට හානිදායක වූ මිනිස් ක්‍රියාකාරකම් සහ අහිතකර නිෂ්පාදනයන් පෘථිවිය තුලින් බැහැර කිරීමේ කාර්යයේදී සිටින අතර ඇගේ නම මුලින්ම ලෝකයේ කියවෙන නමක්. ගෝලීය තිරසාර සංවර්ධන අරමුණු සාක්ෂාත් කර ගැනීමේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකීය දායකත්වයේ ඉහළින්ම සටහන් වන නම් අතර ඇගේ නම හෙට දිනේදී ඉතිහාසය තුල ලියවෙනු ඇති.
Now, one of the most important event is going to happen. One of the leading person in Sri Lankan forest research field is going to address the gathering today. She has done contributions like researches, paper articles, workshops, and many more to the development of researching field about forests. She has achieved her Bachelor of Special Honours degree in Zoology from University of Sri Jayawardhanapura and her Masters in Forestry from Louisiana State University in 2008 and her doctorate from Louisiana State University in 2011. She is none other than Professor Rangika Bandara, a senior lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya. Today, we are honored to have her presence for our program. So we would like to invite her to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, all of you. It's my pleasure to address the gathering here today. I think it's a very special day to all of you, and I know how you feel. I have been through such graduation ceremonies, and you can be proud of, and your hard work and commitments and your dedication has come true. So I hope that with the knowledge that you gathered from this institution and you are working with small children, and that is our future, and my speech also will be focused on children, and you are holding our future. I think with the knowledge and with the qualities that we have in our life to serve the nature and children and our future, and hope that you will be serving the country as a valuable human being. So that is my wish, and with that I would like to start my speech. Till it comes to the screen, I would like to say that nowadays we all are talking about, we just celebrated World Environment Day on June 5th of 2023 because we have in every year we have reserved a date for World Environment because We are dealing with the environment every day. So we are part of the environment. Since I am working in the field of environment, I thought that I should talk a few words and I should impress you, inspire you regarding why we should respect the environment as we do respect our children, since both are our present and the future. So we have to work towards the betterment of the environment because we are part of it, as I told you. We can't separate ourselves from the environment. So as you know that we breathe from the environment, right? Now here the atmosphere, and then we drink water that is from the environment, that is nature. So we have to have air fresh, unpolluted water, water sanitation. When I talk about little science on nature, now we see the beauty of the nature, but at the same time, without knowing that, we highly depend on nature. So you think about one activity that you can carry on without dealing with nature, right? Eating food and breathing and having this energy, right? Coming from the sun rays. Coming from the sun, that is the energy, that is the driving force of the planet. Without sun, we can't survive. That is why we used to worship sun, I guess. In the past, we know that we used to worship sun. So there's a reason for that. So you take out sun from this system and you think about what would happen. Not only the darkness, but also the energy that we are running, talking, and we are doing all these things, the energy that comes from food, and that food is produced from the sun's energy. So sun's rays. So we are dealing with the environment every day. So it is as a responsible human being, we should respect the environment. Now, you know, with time nowadays, we are talking about climate change. In Sinhala, අපි කියන දේශගුණ විපර්යාස වෙනවා කියලා. Right? We are big time, we are talking about climate change. If we talk about the subject little in detail. Right. Now this Earth planet is a system. Now we have hydrological cycle, we have cycles in the atmosphere, right? Water vapor goes up into the atmosphere due to the heat coming from the sun. You know, it's like there are different cycles happening. That is why we get rain at the end of the day, right? It's not just happening. All these things are in a system. All these things are in a system. That is why the raining, that is why we see the streams are flowing, that is why we see these birds are flying, right? The blue sky, everything that we see, that the picture that we draw, if you want to draw the environment in a piece of paper, but there's a system. But you know, with the activities that we are dealing with every day, as an individual, as an industry, as an institution, every day we are dealing with the environment. We take resources from the environment and we make use of them, and then we dump these into the environment. As a result, air is being polluted, water is being polluted, and earth system, the soil is being polluted, so we won't be able to breathe properly. We will end up with having certain type of diseases like asthma and allergies, and at the same time we won't be able to grow our plants, agriculture. We have problems with the fertilizers in the soil, right? Different kind of problems as a result of the activities we do every day. We are running kind of a rat race. We are in a hurry to fulfill our requirements. We have no time to think about what is happening because of us to another person, to the environment. So what we are dealing with every day. So as a result, the climate has been changing. We call it as climate change. So nowadays, I think you already experience. Now we see droughts, we see the hot weather. It's going to extremes and prolonged than the earlier. We experience prolonged heat throughout, like before. Now you are already experienced that climate change. So when the climate is changing, as a result, we experience extreme weather conditions here locally. Climate is changing globally. It's happening in the atmosphere all around the world, right? Atmosphere has no boundaries. So it is a global thing. The atmosphere is changing, the heat is going up. As a result, we may experience that heat in the environment. And at the same time, heavy rains and floods and droughts an unexpected manner than before, than earlier. So that is what is called as climate change, if I brief in general. So why it is happening? Because certain type of gases that we are dealing with every day. Carbon dioxide, you may have heard. Carbon dioxide is there in the environment, in the atmosphere. But what we do is burning of fossil fuels like diesel, petrol, for transportation, and also in our industries, in our day-to-day lives, even here to have all these electrical equipment running, we have to burn, we have to make use of fossil fuel. Somewhere fossil fuel is burning, in Norwachol maybe, and transmitting here, and we are getting energy. Maybe hydro energy from the hydropower plants. Even to run all these things, we make use of energy. So big time, not only here locally, globally, regionally, we are dealing with fossil fuel every day. Fossil fuel means diesel, petrol, kerosene, coal, these stuff. We are burning these and we are emitting certain type of gases to the environment. There are 6 gases. So in general, let's say carbon dioxide, we are emitting carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is there in the environment, but we are dealing with fossil fuel which are underground. We are taking them out, diesel for example, then we are burning. We are taking petrol out and we are burning, and we are releasing greenhouse gases into the environment. Right. Now you see how the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere is increasing throughout, has been increasing throughout the years. So the most contributing factor for this increment is the transportation. Transportation and fossil fuel burning is the most contributing factor for this carbon dioxide increment. As I said, not only carbon dioxide, there are 6 other gases, but just generally, I know that it's too heavy for you to grab, but in general, that you have to understand. So the things that we are dealing with every day, we are releasing certain type of gases. Carbon dioxide is one of that. And as you see here, nitrous oxide and methane, and there are some 3 other gases which are responsible for this heat increment in the atmosphere. Now you see, I wanted to show you here. Now you see from 1985 to 2020, so how these gases have been increasing in the environment artificially because of us. Now you understand. Because of us, our activities, we are in such a hurry to fulfill our requirements. We are dealing with the environment without knowing, without thinking, without considering, and we are polluting the environment throughout. As a result, now these gases, concentrations are going up in the atmosphere, so the global is warming, right? We are passing that situation to our next generation, to our children. So fair enough? So what do you think? Is that all right? So let's get our work done. We'll pass all these to our next generation. Is that all right? Now you are dealing with children. Now you understand how innocent they are. They are born with nothing. Now we have, through our experience, research, we have identified even in unborn children, they have plastics in their blood. In the form of microplastics, mesoplastics and nanoplastics, even before they are born, right? So who is responsible? This generation is responsible, and previous generation is responsible throughout, and we are passing all our results to that unborn children, to our future. So you imagine now, our lifespan is about 70 years. Now, nowadays we would say 60 years. Now, if an unborn child is going to born with plastics in their blood, so you imagine what would be their lifespan. So that is the real ground situation. That is why we have to worry about the environment. So as those who are dealing with children, I think you better understand and educate them from the beginning, from the childhood. So we have to build up their attitudes. So we have a big time problem with attitude, especially countries like ours. So I should say that. So it is difficult to change this generation. It is difficult to convince something for this current generation, but you are dealing with the future generation. So at the very beginning in your primary education, you can incorporate about environment and how we are going to, how valuable that the environment, different components. So without environment we can't deal with. So that attitude you can pass over to the next generation. And it is your utmost duty, I guess, right? Building up their skills and other knowledge and expertise that you are shaping the children. So please take necessary measures in your education institutions to make sure that you pass the message. You make the passion of nature. The child should have that passion, that attitude when they grow up. So once we have that passion from the very beginning, you know, every day when we make our decisions, when we carry out our different activities, once we have that passion in our blood, so we tend to make decisions in that line. So that is what we are missing in this country, in our education system. I'm talking about, there are many gaps we have in our education system, but I'm talking about in terms of environment. Right. Now, all these gases that I was talking about, it creates an envelope around the globe. That is why the global atmosphere is warming. Now you see now, methane, carbon dioxide, let's see, there are molecules here, right? They got together and make kind of an envelope around the globe. Now sun's rays are coming to the globe and bouncing back. It's coming, we see the light and we see the heat, and it's going back, reflecting back some percentage. But as a result of this envelope, it's not going back. It can't escape. Then again it's coming back to the planet Earth. So that is why the heat is going up, as a result of the gases that we are releasing. That's a mechanism. We call it as greenhouse gas effect. We don't have to worry about terms, but you have to understand that is what is happening. Because of these gases, it's making an envelope and trap the heat energy. So the heat energy, heat waves cannot escape. That is why we feel all these, the global warming. It's not only about the heat. So as a result, if the heat is going up, what would happen? Glaciers will melt, sea level will rise, right? The plants won't be able to photosynthesis. You know, the green color is a must in plants to have their production, to increase their growth. If we see a plant is growing, height is growing, right? And it's growing bigger. So they do photosynthesis, like we do get our food. There's a process. To that process, that greenery is a necessary, it's a must. But once we have this temperature is going up, there's a threshold for that greenery. There are enzymes. So enzymes won't work out if the temperature is too high. So they won't be able to photosynthesis. That means plants will not be able to grow basically. So we don't see flowers, we don't see fruits, we don't have rice, we don't have vegetables, we don't have papaya, whatever that we eat. You think in that way. At the end of the day, our food security. Right. Now, as a result, now that is the story, right? That is the story. In brief, I am trying to talk in general, right? Now you see here, in Central Africa, one of the lakes that they highly depend on for their water usage. Now you see it has been dried up, 90%. Now we have what? We have climate refugees. දේශගුණය නිසා සරණාගතයෝ ඇතිලා ඉන්න ලෝකේ. සරණාගත. It's a serious problem. Now it's becoming a serious problem now. We have refugees, සරණාගතයෝ, යුද්ධයට සරණාගතයෝ ඉන්නවා. We have different type of refugees now. Now as a result of this phenomenon, now we have refugees. So you see here. So where do they can go to fulfill their water requirement? If they depend on that lake and the lake is dried out, who is responsible? We all responsible. This is a global problem. We all responsible. Now in Maldives, see, that is what the Maldives is. That is how does it look like. You all know, but I want to highlight it here. Now you see no highlands. It's a flat lowland. Now, as a result of global temperature rising, the sea level also will rise at the same time. Now, it has been estimated by I can't exactly remember, by 2050, I guess. 2050, everything would be gone, Maldives. If this scenario happens, continue to happen, if that, as you see the graphs, carbon dioxide and all these are going up, if this happen to continue, this Maldives will be not be there anymore. Now, from their GDP, now we are talking about GDP, now these days we don't have money in the treasury, we have GDP issues. Now them, 50% of their funds, GDP, has been allocated to address this problem. Now you see, whatever the money we have in the treasury at the moment, you know about that. Then out of that, 50% that we have to spend on water. If that happens, you imagine the situation. We have a whole lot of problems to deal with that money what we have in the treasury, and at the same time, if you have to spend 50% of that for water, they don't have water actually. Because seawater is already intrusion. There is a seawater intrusion. That means from the ground level, seawater is coming into the inland, and water is contaminated and salty. No wells, can't drink, right? Now, what they are doing is they are coming with different technologies to collect rainwater. All these tanks, and they have invested a lot to collect rainwater, and that rainwater is also not enough. Now they spend money for water. So that is the situation. Isn't it serious? Now they are asking from the world, they are asking from us, help us. Now they are asking from us, help us, this is the situation. My child is there in my country. Now he has nowhere to go, she has nowhere to go. Now we have to understand this. We all should be responsible. And whatever you do, little action that you make today will make a big difference tomorrow, right? Now it's the right time for you to have that attitude and pass it over to the next generation. Now let's talk about our country, Sri Lanka. What is going on here? We know there are floods, we know there are landslides, we know we have been through certain droughts, but according to estimates, this has happened as a result of climate change that has been reported. So time to time we have heard, but these are the real facts on ground. Sri Lanka, what is happening? And we know in 2016 we experienced a severe drought. If you remember, we have a power cut down because our hydropower, that water levels gone down. They were not able to produce hydro energy because there should be a water limit to produce hydro energy. Went down, and you remember we had a power cut because of the weather pattern changes. And thereafter, right, likewise, heavy rainfalls, landslides in 2019, and heat stress. Even now we are experiencing heat stress. You know, in Pakistan and in India, annually, there are deaths recorded due to heat stress. It has been diagnosed due to heat stress, especially adults and children. They are more vulnerable for heat stress. Now this has been happening. These countries, it's commonly happening, but even here in Sri Lanka, even recent past, I heard that there were some deaths recorded due to heat stress, even in Sri Lanka. Right, landslides and floods, droughts throughout during the past few years. Right, and if you are aware or not, now we have climate change hotspots like Western Province, as you see here, North Province, North Central, Western and Northwestern provinces are more vulnerable. If there's a climate change, these are the more vulnerable areas in the country. And the country itself is vulnerable. Now we have identified, as a globe, we have identified which countries are more vulnerable if there's a climate shift. Climate shift is happening, but Sri Lanka is the sixth country, sixth one, ranked sixth. Whether we contribute or not, the results, the vulnerability, right, having that negative impacts for the country, we are coming for sixth place. So we have to be ready for that climate changes, for these disasters. We have to have plans. Our agriculture would be in trouble. We won't be able to have our crops. So we have to have more drought resistant crops. We have to have another mechanisms to have water for our crops. Likewise, we have to have plants. Now, you know that those gases that I was talking about, especially carbon dioxide, how we can take off the environment? Is there a mechanism where we can take off these gases? At least we can try out that. The only mechanism is by plants for their photosynthesis. They absorb carbon dioxide. Now, for that we have to have forests and vegetation. You know that every year, annually, our deforestation is about 7,000 hectares annually. Even though we have all these restrictions and regulations, our forest cover is, we have a problem with that. Now, the only resource where we can absorb carbon dioxide is the forest. But as you see here, the forest cover and the carbon dioxide absorption capacity, just think about it in that manner. Don't worry about the terminologies. This is what is happening throughout. Carbon dioxide absorption capacity by our forest has been diminishing, but the carbon dioxide levels has been increasing, but this potential is decreasing. Now we are in trouble, right? We have a problem, right? Now we must provide the opportunity for our children for their full potential to grow in terms of physically, mentally. If they want to access certain resources, water, air, food, we have to provide them the full potential. That is the theory, right? That is the standard. Because they are young, they don't understand. We should provide them the full potential. But having these climate shifts, because our disregard to the environment, disrespect to the environment, we won't be able to provide that situation for our children. Right. Now, flooding is projected. There are projected 1.2 million plus children would be in trouble. Homeless, they would be homeless globally as a result of flooding due to these climate shifts. So the climate action is in need. Now we have to act. Now this is the right time for us to act. So for that, I think I have seen that Sustainable Development Goals is there in the booklet. Now there's one Sustainable Development Goal which is 13. It is for the climate action. That means globally we have understood that climate change, that we have to make actions, we have to take certain strategies, necessary actions globally to address this climate change. Now the United Nations, as you see here in the booklet, UN Development Goals, right? There are 17. Out of that, one goal is the 13. One is for the climate action. So globally we have allocated funds, globally we have certain strategies, standards, policies, laws globally, and at the same time in parallel locally we have taking certain measures to deal with this climate thing. That means we are on alert. So we have to pay attention. You have to take the message. We have to change our attitudes. You have to pass the message for the next generation. But you should understand what is going on locally and globally. That is why I wanted to highlight. Otherwise, I know that it's going to be more scientific, but you should know in general, this is what is happening all around the world. Right. This is the 13th one. You can Google and see, right? UN goals. Next. Right. Now, businesses, who is going to act? Who should act? The government. That is the government's duty. There is a ministry. Who should act? No. That is the duty of all of us as groups, as communities, as an individual. That is the duty of all of us, right? Businesses, government officials, and communities. We all should work together. Now we see at times when we are trying to do something, we have all sort of boundaries. No, you do your share. You do your share. It really doesn't matter. That is, you are doing for the next generation. You are working towards your future. You are working for your children. You are working for the mother nature. So we'll have all sort of boundaries later. Now we all have to work together for the betterment of the nature. That means for the betterment of our future, right? If my kid, your kid, if they won't be able to breathe, can we watch it? You just imagine by the time of your next generation. So this is a global collective problem. We have to act. Who has to act? We all have to act collectively. So we see at times we make attempts, efforts, we do different things. So you all have to get together. Okay? Now what you can do individual level, at the individual level. The government must take their decisions and certain regulations and all. What you can do in simple steps I want to highlight here, because I want you to practice those simple steps at home. There's a big science, right? I'm talking in simple, what you can do. So you can use public transport instead of your having fuel for your vehicles, walking, cycling, wherever possible. That cut down of fossil fuel because of your intervention, right? Because of you are not going to burn diesel, petrol, wherever possible you cut down. That is one thing. And the other thing is red meat and poultry meat. Protein is necessary, right? I'm not talking about that. Protein is necessary for children, right? And poultry means we are allocating a lot of resources for meat production, especially red meat. Land, food for them, grasses, that is why. Lot of greenhouse gases are emitted. I'm not talking about health, I'm talking about the environment. For the poultry production, we spend whole lot of resources for that. So at the same time, those greenhouse gases are also increasing because of poultry. Right. And reduce, reuse, recycle. That is most important to you, I guess, as primary teachers. So you can make sure that in your institution that you make a habit for your students, for your children, that reduce, reuse, recycle. What is reduce? Reduce different kind of, for example, plastics. If they come to school with plastics and lunch boxes and whatever the bottles, and if they throw all these toffee, all these packagings, that you can encourage them to switch for alternatives, reduce. Then encourage them to say no, refuse. That's another R. Refuse, reduce, and reuse wherever possible. Now you can practice it in your institution and show them, not just telling them, demonstrate. You can set a model role for them. So the way you behave, actually they are looking at us rather than what you say. They see you and they follow you. So you set an example. Now here we have around 50, I guess. Now if you can make a change, right? Under you, let's say you have 10 children, 15 to 10, 500. We can make a big difference, right? I want to inspire you. I want to set you as a model role for at least one child. So we can make a big difference tomorrow. And listen to your children. And now, if you are going to inculcate these practices, if they come up with certain issues, you have to listen to them. And that is also a must, the way of changing the behavior. And also you get involved. So there are certain programs, they are asking for your children and you to participate. You have to be active and get involved. I know that once we are in the rat race, we have no time. So we will limit ourselves into our job description. This is what we have to do, this is my job. Apart from that, we won't be able to think and act. No, you have to be proactive, not the reactive. You have to be proactive, right? I see a lot of young faces here. So you have to be proactive and you should take the lead. And you should teach your child to take the lead, to protect the nature. Okay? Yes, I have a small video to show. I don't know whether we can play it out. No. All right. And that is what I have to tell you. That is the take-home message from me to you. And wherever possible, in certain instances, as lecturers, I think we initiate certain things to protect the nature out of our job description voluntarily. So I hope that if we can see the women especially, you can make a change. You can change the society. I believe that women, we have that power. So you have to take the lead, right? So I would see one day when I'm watching the TV, one of you coming up with your kids and initiating certain things to safeguard the environment. That is with that hope I would conclude. Thank you very much for giving me that opportunity and inviting me here. It's an honor for me to be here and to address you. And thank you very much for your patience and being with me. Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Now we are heading to the next event of the program. From here, top contributors to the institute will be rewarded for their service, and sum of annual registrations will be given too. For that, we would like to invite with respect Honorable Deshapandu Mr. Tissaranatunga, the Chairman of IPSSD, Executive Committee Member of United Nations Associations, Department Head of Science and Engineering IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Kamal Abewardena, the CEO of IPSSD Sri Lanka, Mr. Anura Disanayaka, the Executive Director of IPSSD, Dr. Madhavi Bandara, to award the certificates.
First, special motivation from IPSSD Sri Lanka will be given. Mr. Chamal Indika Gamage. Mrs. Niloka Edrisinghe. Mr. Situm Hiroshanit. Mr. Kitsara Gunasekara. Mr. Oshan Induvara. Now some of the annual registrations will be given. Nanasa Higher Education Institute. Sahanya Higher Education Institute. Mr. M.R. Veerabansal. Mrs. Manisha Gnanaratne. Thank you very much. Being thankful and moving on to the next session of the program. For that, we would like to invite Dr. Kamal Abewardena, Executive Committee Member of United Nations Associations, Department Head of Science and Engineering IPSSD Sri Lanka.
Consultant Administration of Agriculture, the member of Sabaragamu University Council, former Chief Secretary of Sabaragamu Provincial Council, former Director General at Department of Sports, Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs, Madam Ranjani Jayakodi, legal consultant, senior lawyer and the lecturer, Mr. Prasanna Di Soisa, to award certificates. And in the same time, I would like to invite the Director of Administration and Finance of IPSSD Sri Lanka, Madam Gayatri Liyanage, to present the name.
Ganga Prabha Sandhya Kumarage. MC Pavitrani Karunatilaka. MV Geetanjali Kahavita. NH Utpala Sewalli. WMIV Bandaranayaka. HM Tungalata Irangnes. MNF Noor Shifa. AHRP Hevage. MMF Sabrina. SMA Senadira. MNF Masara. TGCP Karunaratna. MG Nadika Irangeni. MMF Risnia. MRS Anima. WM Dinusha Priyadarshani. K. Rosi Anuradha. PK Rebecca Esther. AWF Favi. MMF Asmila. KGA Hoshani Jayawardhana. HMS Nisansala Madhushanti. S. Iromika Udayani Karunaratna. HMY Rasangika Aryadasa.
Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite the Department Head of Languages, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Venerable Villabiya Sumanasiri Thero, to address us.
Good afternoon, all of you. Actually, this situation I didn't expect, but I have to give some ideas about this situation. Before that, I would like to, there is a staff, I don't know, many members, big characters here. Therefore, respectable staff members and all of you, today, big opportunity, all the teachers you have gathered here. I'm giving some ideas. You have to think as a teacher, you're gonna teach something for your students. Therefore, think differently and give the best ideas for your students. Actually, education is, cannot imagine, according to Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If you use the education powerfully, you can do everything what you want. According to the guest lecture, we have listened to a lecture here. You have to make your students, you have to give many ideas for your students. Actually, we are in an agricultural country. Therefore, ask your students to keep very close relationship with the environment. You have to think about the environment. There is a saying, if you want to listen to bird songs, don't buy cages, plant trees. Therefore, try to plant trees. Ask your students, your siblings, and your elders to plant trees. Then what will happen? Everything will happen. The world will very nice place to us. Therefore, normally we are celebrating our birthdays. What we do, think about those things. Some people love to arrange many parties. What happened? What you gain through this kind of parties? Actually nothing. Some people enjoy it. Over enjoying is not good, I think. But think about, if you can plant a tree on behalf of your birthday, what will happen? It may be a fruit tree or very important tree. Then we can save lives actually. Therefore, nature is our part of life. That is why through the lecture we got. Therefore, as teachers, you can give many ideas. You can change the student. Teacher is the best character, I think. In Sri Lanka, there is no actual license for the teacher. Even butcher has a license. But teacher didn't have a license in Sri Lanka. So this situation is very sad in Sri Lanka when you think about salary and all, everything. But as a teacher, if you think correctly, you are the people who are going to make the society strong society. Therefore, don't be so proud about yourself, but you better do your best. I'm giving you an advice and I'm going to conclude my speech. I didn't ready and just Dr. Madhavi asked me to give some ideas to the audience. Therefore, I am doing that part for the first time. Now, I would like to give you an idea, advice actually. Keep in mind. When people throw you stones, it's because you are a good tree full of fruits. They see a lot of harvest in you. But don't go down to their level by throwing back them the stones. But throw them your fruits so the seeds of yourself may inspire them to change their ways. Keep in your mind. And have a nice day. May the noble triple gem bless you. Thiruvan Saranai.
Thank you very much, Reverend Sir. Even if it's a sudden moment, but you have given a valuable ideas and advices to the gathering. We are very thankful. So, now, another leading person in a way for the country is going to address you. Actually, he is related to the current situation and the many of fields regarding the cyber security and all. So I would like to invite consultant digital and social media, Mr. Sanjeeva Randunu Disanayaka, to address the gathering. මා බොහොම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා සංජීව රන්දුණු දිසානායක මහතාට මව් භාෂාවෙන් අප සැම අමතන්නට අද වර්තමානයේ රටේ තිබෙන තත්ත්වය සෝෂල් මීඩියා වීඩියෝකරණය මාධ්‍ය භාවිතය මේ හැම දෙයක් පිළිබඳවම අප දැනුවත්ව සිටිය යුතු කරුණු සහ අප දැනුවත්ව සිටිය යුතු අංශ මොනවද කියන එක ගැන මං හිතනවා එතුමා තමයි ලංකාවට ඉන්න එකම කෙනා මේ සම්බන්ධව. ඉතින් බොහොම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා අප සැම අමතන්නට සංජීව රන්දුණු දිසානායක මැතිතුමන්ට.
Venerable Theru and dear esteemed guests. So once again, this is another sudden invitation for me to deliver a speech on social media. To the benefit of the audience, let me switch to my mother tongue. මාව බොහෝ දෙනා දන්න ආකාර කීපයක් තියෙනවා. එක අතකින් මගේ වෘත්තියෙන් මම බැංකුකරුවෙක්. ඊට අමතරව මම ගායකයෙක් විදිහටත් කට්ටිය දන්නවා. හැබැයි වැඩි දෙනෙක් දන්නේ මාව සෝෂල් මීඩියා පැත්තෙන්. ඉතින් සමහරක් වෙලාවට ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති ලංකාවේ අපි celebrities ලාගේ එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි YouTubers ලා Facebook එකේ ජනප්‍රිය පුද්ගලයෝ මේගොල්ලන්ගේ accounts හැක්කුණාම එම මගේ නම එළියට එනවා. ඊට අමතරව සෑහෙන්න ඩිජිටල් මාකටිං පැත්තෙන් තමයි මම ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් දෙනාට උදව් කරන්නේ. දැන් ඔඩියන්ස් එක දිහා බැලුවාම මට ඩොක්ටර් මාධවී කිව්වා මෙතන ඉන්න වැඩි දෙනෙක් බොහෝ බහුතරය ප්‍රයිමරි ටීචර්ස්ලා කියලා. ඉතින් මට හිතුණා මෙතෙන්ට ආවහම මම මේ කතා කරන සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක සෝෂල් මීඩියා සිකියුරිටි සයිබර් සිකියුරිටි කියන පැත්තේ විවිධ අංශ තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මට හිතුණා මෙතන ඉන්න ඔඩියන්ස් එකට වැදගත් වෙන කරුණු ටිකක් කියන්න. ගුරුවරු වශයෙන් ඔබතුමාලා තුමියලාට හම්බෙනවා තමන්ගේ දරුදරු දැන් මේ ළඟදී මට හම්බ වෙච්ච එක සිද්ධියක් නිසා මට හිතුණා මේ දේ කියන්න. මීට මාස කීපයකට කලින් මට සහභාගී වෙන්න පුළුවන් වුණා ස්වර්ණවාහිනී ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකකට. ඒ වෙලාවේ කාන්තා හා ළමා කාර්යාංශයේ ෂාමන් හම්බුණා. ඉතින් එතකොටත් මේ ලංකාවේ යා මට කියපු දෙයක් තමයි අපි දකිනවා සෑහෙන්න කට්ටිය සෝෂල් මීඩියා වල ඉන්න. හැබැයි මේක ඇතුලේ ආරක්ෂා වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා ගොඩක් දෙනෙක් දන්නේ නැහැ. එතන තියෙන්නේ මෙතෙන්දී ලොකු මැජික් එකක් නැහැ. හැබැයි මේකේ තියෙන බරපතලකම තේරෙන්නේ කාට හරි කරදරයක් වුණාම. දැන් අපි හැමෝම සෝෂල් මීඩියා පාවිච්චි කරනවා. හැබැයි අපි කවුරුත් හිතන්නේ නැහැ මේ සෝෂල් මීඩියා account එකක් හැක් වුණාම මොනවද වෙන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් කියලා. ඉතින් මම මෙතන ඉන්න ඔඩියන්ස් එකෙන් කියන්නේ මම මේ කියන දේ සමහරක් විට ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ වෙලාවේ වැදගත් වෙන්නේ නැතුණාට කරදරයකට පත් වුණ වෙලාවක ඕගොල්ලන්ට වටි. උදාහරණයකට දැන් මීට දවස් 4කට විතර කලින් මට කතා කරා ගෑනු ළමෙක්. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ගෑනු ළමයි තමයි මේ වගේ කරදර වලට ගොඩාක් අහු වෙන්නේ. දැන් ඒකට හොඳ උදාහරණ තමයි අපේ Facebook password එකක් ගත්තත් Google password එකක් ගත්තත් පළවෙනිම දේ අපි password එක තෝරද්දි මෙතන ඉන්න audience එක දන්නවා ඇති ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ password එක ගෑන් ළමයෙක් අපි තුමු සසිනි නම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඒ වගේ ළමයෙක්ගේ password එක සසිනි 123. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් සසිනි 1993 වෙනංග ඉපදුනේ සසිනි 1993. ඉතින් පළවෙනි දේ මේ password එක වැදගත්කම කියන්නේ අපේ account එකක් ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ මේ අපි දාන email වගේ දේවල්ම නෙමෙයි. දැන් අර මං කියපු ගෑන් ළමයා මට කතා කරේ එයා කසාද බඳින්න ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ඒ වෙලාවේ එයාගේ දැන් කසාද බඳින්න ඉන්න පිරිමි ළමයා මෙයාට කතා කරලා කියනවා ඔයා මට බොරු කිව්වා ඔයා ගියපු නැති ඔයා ගියේ නැහැයි කියන ස්ථාන ටිකක් මම හොයාගත්තා ගියා කියලා. උදාහරණයකට දැන් මේ ගෑන් ළමයා එයා මට කෝල් කරලා කියනවා මම ගියේ නැහැ හැබැයි මං බඳින්න ඉන්න මගේ to be husband කියනවා මම අහවල් හෝටලේ රාත්‍රියක් ගත කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ මං අහුවා ඇත්තටම ඔයා ගියාද? නෑ මම එහෙම ගිහිල්ලා නෑ. මට මේක උනේ කොහොමද කියලා හිතාගන්න බෑ කියලා කිව්වා. ඉතින් ඒ වෙලාවේ තමයි මෙයා දන්නේ මම මේක හොයලා බලුවා මටත් හිතාගන්න බැරුණා එහෙම මේ දැන් මේ බඳින්න ඉන්න කෙනා කොහොමද මේක කියන්නේ කියලා. ඉතින් එතකොට තමයි දැනගත්තේ මේ ගෑන් ළමයා එයාගේ පාස්වර්ඩ් එක එයා දීලා තියෙනවා එයාගේ යාළුවෙක්ට. මේ යාළුවා මේ account එකේ log වෙලා ඉඳලා තියෙනවා එයාගේ Android phone එකේ. ඉතින් එතකොට phone එකේ location on වෙලා තියෙනවා. අර එයාගේ යාළුවා ගියපු ස්ථාන ඔක්කොම මෙයාගේ Google account එකේ අපි දන්නවා Google එකේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ අද ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ maps වල activities වලට ගියාම ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගියපු තැන් ටික ඔක්කොම record වෙලා තියෙනවා ඒකේ. ඔයා අහවල් දවසේ මේ වෙලාවේ මෙතනින් පිටත් වුණා මෙන්න මෙතන හිටියා මෙන්න මේ වෙලාවේ ගෙදර ආවා මේ හැමදේම තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අවසානයේ ඒ දේ අර පිරිමි ළමයාට පැහැදිලි කිරීම තුළ ඒ ගෑන් ළමයාගේ යන්තම් කසාද බේරුණා. දැන් අපිට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ පාස්වර්ඩ් එකක් කාට හරි දුන්නාම ඕකේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා. සමහරක් වෙලාවට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක දෙන්නේ ඔයාට ඊමේල් එකක් යවා ගන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාගේ ෆෝන් එකට අපි දන්නවා ෆෝන් වලට ඇප් එකක් දාන්න අපි ඇප් ස්ටෝර් එකට රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වෙලාවට කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක් ඊමේල් එකක් හදලා දෙනවා. ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට මම මේ ළඟදී අපේ ලොකු අම්මගේ ෆෝන් එක අලුත් ෆෝන් එකකට මාරු වෙන්න ගියාම එයාගේ ඊමේල් එක හදලා තියෙන ඔෆිස් එකේ හිටපු කෙනෙක්ගෙත් මල්ලි කෙනෙක්. එයාගේ ෆෝන් එක ආයි රිකවර් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා තමයි ඒක දැනගත්තේ. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ accounts පළවෙනි දේ ආරක්ෂා කරගන්න. මේ account එකක් හැක් වුණාම සමහරක් වෙලාවට ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ data කිව්වහම සමහර ඊමේල් වල තියෙන ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ වැදගත් තොරතුරු විතරක් නෙමෙයි අතිශය පෞද්ගලික දේවල් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි තුමු Facebook account එකක් සම්බන්ධතාවයක් නැති වුණායින් පස්සේ සමහර වෙලාවට කපල්ස් ඒ දෙන්න බ්ලොක් කරගෙන ඉඳී එතනින් ප්‍රශ්න ඉවරයි කියලා. හැබැයි මේ Facebook වල අපි ගත්තොත් Messenger කරා ඕගොල්ලෝ මොන හරි දේවල් යවනවා නම් ඒ යවන ඒවා මේ කන්වර්සේෂන් එක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා. ඒ කෙනාව බ්ලොක් කරත්. වැරදිලා හරි ඔයාගේ account එක කවුරු හරි අතට ගියොත් ඒ කෙනා මේ කන්වර්සේෂන් එක හොයාගත්තොත් ඒකේ තියෙන මීඩියා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාගේ ජීවිතේ කවදා හරි ඔයාව කෙනෙක් තර්ජනාත්මකව බය කරන්න යොදාගන්නේ. ඉතින් මේ වගේ ගොඩක් දේවල් තියෙනවා අපි වැඩි හිතන්නේ නැති. සමහරක් වෙලාවට ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ෆෝන් එකක් හදන්න අද ලංකාවේ වැඩි හරියක් මේ ගොඩාක් මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට මුහුණ දෙන ගෑන් ළමයින්ගේ මේ පෞද්ගලික දේවල් සෝෂල් මීඩියා වල සංසරණය වෙන්නේ සමහරක් වෙලාවට ෆෝන් එක හදන්න දීලා. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් account එක හැක් වෙලා. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලෝ ෆෝන් එකක් හදන්න දෙද්දි සමහරක් දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් ෆෝන් එකේ data delete කරාට පස්සේ ප්‍රශ්න ඉවරයිනේ කියලා. නෑ ලංකාවේ නෙමෙයි ලෝකේ ඕන තරම් softwares තියෙනවා Tamanට delete කරපු දේවල් ගන්න. ඉතින් මේ කවුරු හරි Tamanගේ පෞද්ගලික දත්ත තිබ්බනම් කම්පියුටර් එකක් කැඩුනා නම් කම්පියුටර් එක හදා ගන්න ඕන නම් හොඳම දේ තමයි hard drive එක Taman ගාව තියාගෙන hard disk එක කම්පියුටර් එක දෙන්න. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන් hard disk එකක් යොදාගෙන ඒක හදලා දෙයි. මොකද මේ hard එකේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ delete කරපු දේවල් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ පෞද්ගලික දත්ත විතරක් නෙමෙයි සමහරක් වෙලාවට ඔයගොල්ලන් save කරලා තියෙන password ඊට පස්සේ අපි තුන් බැංකු ගිණුම් වල විස්තර මේ වගේ දේවල් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ආයි වැඩි හරියක් මෙතන ඉන්නවා නම් කවුරු හරි මේ මම බැංකු ශාස්ත්‍රයේ ඉන්න හින්දා දවසකට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 30 40කට වැඩිය මට එන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ලංකාවේ තියෙනවා just pay කියලා සර්විස් එකක්. මේ just pay කියන සර්විස් එකෙන් වෙන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ බැංකු ගිණුමක් ඇප් එකකට ලින්ක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. උදාහරණයකට මම වැඩ කරන බැංකුව X කියලා කියමු. මේ බැංකුවට පුළුවන් තව Y කියන බැංකුවේ account එකක් ලින්ක් කරගන්න. මේකට වැඩි හරියක් මේ වගේ කරදර වලට අහු වෙන්නේ අන්තර්ජාලයේ විකුණන බඩු විකුණන මිනිස්සු. අපි පොඩ්ඩක් අසුන් වලින් නැගිටමු.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, let us have your attention for a while. The former Chancellor, University of Ruhuna, and the Chief Patron of IPSSD Sri Lanka, Most Venerable Professor Kongas Sanneyananda Nayaka Thero, who spends his time and effort for the reputation of the institution and constantly fulfills his responsibility without hesitation, is associated with today's program. On behalf of the Institute, we respectfully welcome Venerable Thero for the occasion at the moment.
මම ආයිමත් කියන්න මම කතා කර හිටියේ මේ ජස්ට් පේ කියන සර්විස් එක ගැන. දැන් මෙතන ඉන්න කවුරු හරි ඔයාගේ වාහනයක් විකුණන්න දාලා තියෙනවා නම් එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ඔයා ඔන්ලයින් බිස්නස් එකක් කරන කෙනෙක් නම් විශේෂයෙන්ම එහෙම නැත්නම් ඕගොල්ලන් මොනවා හරි දෙයකට ආධාර එකතු කරනවා නම් ඒ වගේ කට්ටියට කෝල් එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. අපි අහවල් කෙනා කතා කරන්නේ ඔයාට මම සල්ලි වගේක් දැන් දාන්න යන්නේ ඔයාට මේ අංක 4ක පින් එකක් එයි ඒක කියන්න කියලා. ඒ පින් එක ඔයා එක්ස්පෝස් කරනවා කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ account එක link වෙනවා ඒ අනවසරයෙන් ඔයාගේ සල්ලි පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් පුද්ගලයාට. මම බැංකුවක ඉන්න හින්දා කියන්නේ දවසකට මේ වගේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සමහර දවස්වල 100 ආපු අවස්ථා තියෙනවා. දැන් සති 3කට විතර කලින් මිනිහෙක් බොහොම මේ ෆයිනෑන්ෂලි ආර්ථික වශයෙන් ගොඩාක් වැටිලා ඉන්න වෙලාවක එයාගේ වාහනේ විකුණන්න දාලා ඒ වාහනේ විකුණන අතර එයා තව සල්ලි වගේක් එයාගේ account එකේ තියලා තියෙනවා. එයාට කෝල් එකක් ඇවිල්ලා වාහනේට ඇඩ්වාන්ස් එකක් දාන්න මම ඔයාලට දැන් සල්ලි වගේක් දානවා රටින් මට පින් අංකය කියන්න කියලා. මේ පින් අංකය කිව්වට පස්සේ එයාගේ සල්ලි ඔක්කොම අර account එක link කරගත්ත කෙනා පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් දැන් මේ වගේ දේවල් ගොඩාක් අය දන්නේ නැහැ. විශේෂයෙන්ම තරුණ අය නම් මේ වගේ දේවල් වලට පොඩ්ඩක් අපි කියන්නේ ටෙක් සැවි කියලා ඒගොල්ලන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පරිස්සම් වෙන්න දන්නවා. හැබැයි මැදි වයසේ ගොඩාක් දෙනා මේ වගේ දේවල් ගැන දන්නේ නැහැ. අවසානයේ ලොකු කරදර වලට වැටෙනවා. ඉතින් මෙතන මම මේ කියපු දේවල් ඕගලන්ට කවදා හරි අවශ්‍ය වෙයි. කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා ඔයාගෙන් අහුවොත් මට ඇඩ්වාන්ස් එකක් දාන්න කෙනෙක් මගේ account number එකයි මේ ID number එකයි දෙකම ඉල්ලුවා කියලා එතන තියෙනවා ගැටලුවක්. ඒතකොට ඕගලන්ට පරිස්සම් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඇයි ID number එක account number එකයි නමයි තිබ්බනම් ඇති. ID number එකක් අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ සල්ලි වගේක් දාන්න. පින් අංකයක් කොහෙත්ම අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් ওই වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා මේ බොහොම හදිසියේ ලැබුණු අවස්ථාවක් නිසා මම මේ පොඩි දේවල් ටික කිව්වේ. අන්තිම වශයෙන් කියන්න තියෙන්නේ පරිස්සම් වෙන්න. අපි අපේ ගෙදර දොරවල් ආරක්ෂා කරගන්නවා වගේම අද කාලේ වෙනකොට දැන් ලෝකේ ඩිජිටල් කරණය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ඩිජිටල් සිකියුරිටි එක, සයිබර් සිකියුරිටි එක සෑහෙන වැදගත්. ඕගොල්ලන් ඉන්ෆෝමේෂන් ටෙක්නොලොජි විතරක්ම නෙමෙයි පොඩ්ඩක් ඕගොල්ලන් බලන්න ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ අපි දකින්නවානේ දිනදා වෙන දේවල්. මේ ළඟදී කියන්නේ සතියේට කලින් අපේ මාවරැල්ලේ බද්දිය හාමුදුරුවන්ගේ ලංකා මිලියන 1.6ක් තියෙන Facebook page එක හැක් වුණා. හාමුදුරුවෝ මට කතා කරලා කිව්වේ මේ සජීව මට මේක මේ හැමදේම නැති වෙනවා කියලා මම දන්නවා. හැබැයි මම තරුණ කාලේ ජවයෙන් කියපු බණ තිබ්බ මගේ YouTube channel එකත් හැක් වුණා. බණ 600කට වැඩිය තියෙන. ඒක මට ධර්ම පුස්තකාලයක් වගේ. අන්න ඒ නිසායි මම මේක ගන්න මේ උත්සාහ කරන්න කියලා. ඒ වගේ දැන් සමාජ මාධ්‍යවල ගොඩාක් දෙනා මට හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා. ඕගොල්ලන් social media security කියන දේ නොදැන ඔයාට මොනවා හරි නැති වුණොත් නැති වෙන්නේ සමහරක් විට ඔයා බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් ගොඩනගාගත්ත ඔයාගේ business එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයා මොනවා හරි ආසාවකට කරන හොබි එකක් හරි මොනවා හරි දෙයක් ලෝකෙට පෙන්වන ඔයාගේ channel එක page එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ඔයාගේ account එක හැක් වීම තුලින් වෙන්නේ ඔයාගේ පෞද්ගලිකත්වය වෙන්න පුළුවන් විනාශ වෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඒ දේවලුත් පොඩ්ඩක් මතක තියාගෙන මේ social media digital ආරක්ෂාව කියන එක ගැන පොඩ්ඩක් සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න කියන එක තමයි මට මේ ලැබිච්ච පුංචි අවස්ථාවෙන් කියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Thank you so much for the opportunity, doctor. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear sir, for sharing valuable ideas and giving us advices about the situation. Thank you so much once again. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Achini Vijayratna to express how do you feel about being a student in IPSSD Sri Lanka and following a course and being a diplomat today. So, we welcome Achini Vijayratna.
Good evening, dear all. Reverend Thero, Dear chief guest, my dear teachers and the audience, I'm Miss Achini Vijayaratna. I'm from Ratnapura. So first of all, I would like to say thank you for granting me this opportunity, dear Madam Madhavi Bandara, to address the gathering. If I talk about me, I'm a teacher at Ratnapura, Sussex, and I met Madam Madhavi Bandar once, so I thought of starting this diploma, and I had a goal, I had a dream to be on the stage one day in front of my dear little daughter to represent what I can achieve. So I fulfilled that dream. So I'm really happy on the stage today. So on behalf of the Institute, IPSSD, I would like to say that this is a marvelous opportunity to all of us, dear teachers, and just because of our dear Madam Madhavi Bandara's guidance, today we all were here. So thank you once again, dear Madam, and I would like to say that I'm also a Dhamma school teacher, so actually I don't know to tell our sir's name, but one of my parents at Dhamma school, one of my child called Maheta Sata is here. So hello sir. Still I don't know his name, sorry sir. But once we had a nice chat regarding these nature's things and some sort of things also, without knowing who he is actually. So I was really wonder when I'm receiving my certificate from our sir. So I would like to say hi to sir. So I was really happy and really proud to be here. And also I'm the batch top in this time. So thank you, madam. Today I'm here just because of you and your guidance. So my dear mother, my mother-in-law also here. So in front of her, I would like to say thank you for being my strength. Overall strength is she, because she's looking after my daughter and staying behind me whenever I'm in need, because whenever I'm going everywhere, I used to take my daughter. So she's the one who helped me. And likewise, I know the teachers, we all are parents, mothers, so we need some sort of supports from our family members. So this chance is for them to say thank you. And dear teachers, will do some more things on behalf of the Institute. And madam, thank you once again. So dear teachers, thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Ms. Achini, and we wish you all the best for your future.
Now we are going to witness a rare occasion which will happen only in these types of programs. United Nations Organization is presenting awards in every year for the outstanding citizen all over the region for their contribution and commitment for achieving United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These professionals are honored with this special award for their services and sacrifices beyond professional boundaries. To present awards with respect, we would like to invite the Chief Patron of IPSSD, former Chancellor of University of Ruhuna, Professor Kongastanne Anandanayaka Thero, Honorable Deshabandhu Mr. Tissa Ranatunga, the Chairman of IPSSD, Executive Committee Member of United Nations Association, Department Head of Science and Engineering IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Kamal Abewardana, a Senior Lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya, Professor Rangika Bandara, Senior Lecturer and Director of the Center for Sustainability, University of Sri Jayawardenapura, Dr. Tilakwansha Chandra Tilaka, the Executive Director of IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Madhavi Bandara, and also we would like to invite to join hands with us the Director of Examination, Madam Deepa Bhattagoda, to present citations.
South Asian Appreciation Awards 2021-2022. Children's and women's protection, the creation of strategies for their implementation at the rural level. Senior DIG, Mr. Lalit Pathinayaka. Creation and socialization of new policies regarding child and women nutrition's health protection methods. Dr. Jairuan Bandara. Socializing child creativities in an ethical framework towards innovative events with their independence. Mr. Indunil Javadana. Carrying out practical measures related to baby and pregnant motherhood to the greatest expectations and even beyond, with a lot of activities that taking creativity to those events. Mrs. Chatrika Jinadasa. Special Assistant and Environmental Director for the Presidential Office from 2019 to 2021. DIG Mr. Roshan Nishant Rajpaksha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much for all the distinguished parties for being a part of the occasion, and in the same time we would like to request you to stay still for the next moment, which will be a remarkable on one's today's program. It is taking commemorative photograph. We would like to invite the Honorable Chairman Deshabandhu Tisaranatunga, Senior Lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya, Professor Angika Bandara, the Executive Committee Member of United Nations Organization and the Department Head of the Science and Engineering, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Kamala Bewardhana, Senior Lecturer and Director of the Center for Sustainability, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Dr. Tilakwansha Chandratilaka, Consultant Administrator of Agriculture, the Member of Sabaragamuwa University Council, former Chief Secretary of Sabaragamuwa, Madam Ranjani Jayakodi, Legal Consultant, Senior Lawyer and Senior Lecturer, Mr. Prasanna Disoisa, the CEO of IPSSD, Mr. Anura Disanayaka, Madam Gayatri Liyanage, Director of Finance, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Dr. Madhavi Bandara, Senior Executive Director, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Madam Ransi Vimalaratna, the Coordinator of Southern Province, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Mr. Eli Vera, Registrar of IPSSD Sri Lanka, Madam Deepa Bhattagoda, Director of Examination, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Mr. Sanjeev Randunu Disanayaka, Consultant Social Media and Digital Marketing, and Mr. A. Vitharana to join with us. We would like to beg the pardon and we would like to respectfully invite the Department Head of Languages, IPSSD Sri Lanka, Venerable Villabiya Somanasirithero to join with us.
Thank you very much for the distinguished parties. Now it's time to welcome the leading person in IPSSD Sri Lanka, the Chief Patron and the former Chancellor of University of Ruhuna, Venerable Professor Kongastanne Anandanayaka Thero to address the gathering.
කරුතර අපේ හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේගෙන් අවසරයි. ඒ වගේම අපේ මහාචාර්යතුමා ඇතුළු ආරාධිත අමුත්තනි ඒ වගේම අද සහතික පත්‍ර ලැබූ දරුවනි ඒ වගේම මව්වරුනි පියවරුනි වර්තමාන සමාජ පසුබිම තව දශක 3ක් විතර වෙනකොට ලොකු වෙනසක් වේවි කියලා අපිට හිතෙනවා. ඒකට ප්‍රධානම කාරණය තාක්ෂණික මෙවලං ඉතා සීග්‍රයෙන් සංවර්ධනය වීම සහ මේවාට ප්‍රතික්‍රියා දැක්වීමේ කුසලතාව හීනවීම. ඒ පිළිබඳව වර්තමාන වියතුන්ට තියෙන බුද්ධිමය කුසලතාව ඉක්මවා ගිය භෞතික ප්‍රශ්නයක් මතුවෙනවා. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයට උත්තර දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ ඊටාම සියුම් ලෙස පැති දෙකකින් බැලුවොත් විතරයි. එකක් තමයි භෞතිකමය පැත්ත, අනික් එක තමයි ආධ්‍යාත්මික පැත්ත. මේක හරියට S2 වගේ. S2කින් බලලා හරියට නිරීක්ෂණය කරලා ඒ දත්ත නිවැරදිව ග්‍රහණය කරලා උත්තර සැපෙව්වොත් යම් ප්‍රමාණයකට ඒ ප්‍රශ්න වලට අනාගතයේ බුද්ධිමය යම් කිසි 100% සාර්ථක සොයන්න බෑ. යම් කිසි ප්‍රමාණයක පිළිතුරු සොයන්න පුළුවන් වේවි. ඉතින් ආන්නේ වගේ මග යා යුතුයි කියලා මාධවී බණ්ඩාර අපි නිතරම කියනවා මේ සාම්ප්‍රදායික අධ්‍යාපන ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ ඉන්න එපයි කියලා. ඒ වගේම සාම්ප්‍රදායික මෙවලන් එක්ක යට වෙලා ඉන්න එපා. අලුත් චින්තන ක්‍රම සොයන්න. අලුතෙන් අපි මේකට උත්තර සැපිය යුත්තේ එක හැකින් බලලා නෙමෙයි S2කින්ම බලලා පුජ්‍යලයා ආධ්‍යාත්මිකවත් සංවර්ධනය වෙන්න ඕනි. දැනුමේ කුසලතාවත් වර්ධනය වෙන්න ඕනි. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔරුතු දීමේ හැකියාව අඩු වේවි. ඒ සඳහා අපේ මාධවී බණ්ඩාර ලොකු කුසලතා ඇති කාන්තාවක් වගේ නෙමෙයි හොඳ ගුරුවරියක්, හොඳ නායකත්වයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනැත්තියක්, හොඳ ආචාර්ය මණ්ඩලයක්, උපදේශක මණ්ඩලයක් එකතු කරගෙන තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක ඉදිරියේ ප්‍රදර්ශන කරන්න ආරාධනා කරමින් මගේ කෙටි අනුශාසනාව සමාප්ත කරනවා.
Thank you very much, Reverend Sir. Now we are gradually remarking the end of a wonderful occasion, which is happening with a great gathering. So, there are many shadows behind the screen who supports to make this event more delightful. Now we are going to invite one of the leading person in IPSSD to deliver the vote of thank on behalf of everyone. So, I would like to invite, with all respect, the Senior Executive Director of IPSSD, Dr. Madhavi Bandara, for vote of thank.
Good evening, all of you. Reverend Professor Convocation නායක හාමුදුරුවනේ, මොකද මම හැමදාම උන්වහන්සේට කතා කළේ හිමයි. ඒ නිසා ලැන්ග්වේජ් එක වෙනස් වුණා කියලා මම අපේ නායක හාමුදුරුවනේ කියන වචනේ වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. And also Reverend Willambiya Sumanasiri Thero, all ladies and gentlemen. A very happy and warm evening to our most valued guest, my dear students and their parents. First of all, extend my most sincere thanks to our Nayaka Hamuduru again and again. Reverend Sir, always and any time you behind us as a perfect leader. And also on my behalf, I extend a very heart word of thanks to the chief guest, Professor Mrs. Rangika Bandara, who spared time from her busy schedule and graced this occasion to with us. I also extend thanks to our chairman, Honorable Deshabandhu Mr. Tisaranatunga, and Dr. Tilakavansha Chandra Tilaka, Dr. Kamala Bevardhana, Madam Ranjani Jaikodi, Mr. Prasanna Soisa, and our CEO, Mr. Disanayaka. I cannot thank everyone enough for their willing and involvement to take on the function of work behind their comfort song. So I especially thank the people who have been the backbone of this occasion, that Mr. Iranda and team. Again and again, thank you very much, all of you. Have a nice day. Thiruvan Saranai.
Thank you very much, dear madam. And a special invitation for the special awardees. We would like to invite you with your families to move to the upper floor for take photographs. Thank you.
Now, as we close with our ceremony in this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite, with all respect, Senior Lecturer, Department of Zoology and Environmental Management, University of Kelaniya, Professor Rangika Bandara, to declare the ceremony closed.
Congratulations all the awardees once again, and it's my immense pleasure to host this ceremony, and I do declare the closing the Diploma Award ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam.
We come to the close of the Convocation 2021 and 2022 in the Institute of Professional Studies and Skill Development, Sri Lanka. Congratulations and best wishes to all of our dear students. May all your success come to your way always. The organizing committee wishes to thank one and all who have restlessly worked for the past few days to make this program a grand success. Thank you very much once again, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.